No way. Fork and a spoon here? Ugh.
Spaghetti is 10 times thicker than the nastiest rough on the planet.
Oh, that's worse than the British Open stuff. That's gross. Ugh. That's brutal. Oh, the spaghetti's got that laid down, you know, when you get all the grass, when it's mats down, it's been trampled on, and it's going in every different direction, and it feels like, you know, when you hit the club into the ground, the club can twist and go in every direction. I think this is going to be the hardest shot we've seen so far.
So can Brad escape this brutal lie? Here in the Sports Science Lab, we're on the hunt for the hardest lie in golf. We enlisted PGA Pro Brad Faxon, who has successfully hacked his way out of the most ridiculous lies we could create. He easily got out of thick rough, sand, and water, and was even able to club his way out of popcorn and Jell-O.
Jell-O?
It's Jell-O.
But now he faces his most extreme challenge, because we're serving up a heaping pile of spaghetti.
Ugh. That's brutal. Ugh. This is going to be the hardest shot we've seen so far.
This spaghetti is thicker than the gnarliest U.S. Open rough, which should make this shot nearly impossible. Can Brad manage to unpastify his ball?
I didn't even get it out of the box.
What did it feel like when it entered?
Not good. The closest I could describe it to would be like wet mud.
You get one sports science mulligan.
I do?
You do.
Okay, good.
Oh. You think you can get a club on that?
Yes.
Your goal here is just to get the ball out.
I'm getting it close.
Apparently, pasta is a tough lie, but Brad's coming back for a second helping.
That is thick.
All right.
It's out.
You're out.
To succeed, Brad cranks up his hardest swing yet with a clubhead speed of 67 miles an hour. And at the bottom of his swing, the clubhead actually comes to a complete stop. But that's okay, because the work has already been done. All the force created by that high clubhead speed is absorbed by the pasta. But enough force transfers through the pasta to push the ball up and out of the box. We thought we could create some horrible lies that Brad wouldn't know how to handle.
Worst lie in the lab was the spaghetti sauce lie, for sure. No question about it.
But it turns out you don't need to cook up crazy dishes to find golf's worst lie. It's any lie that makes your club go from 60 to 0 in no time flat. And at the end of the day, spaghetti is really no different than 10-inch rough or 6 inches of water.
Every golf shot we get is an experiment. There's no two shots that are identical. Here in the lab, we did some ridiculous things that we'll never see again, but the science is really cool.
So next time you're cursing the golf gods in a bunker with the dreaded fried egg lie, remember, it could be worse. You could be trying to hit out of real fried eggs. No animals were harmed during the course of the following experiment. At Sports Science, we've gone to the mat and into the ring to test how fighters KO their opponents. But one facet of the fight game we haven't tested is the chokeout. Now in nature, snakes like boas, anacondas, and pythons are expert chokers, squeezing their prey to death. And that got us thinking, when it comes to raw choking power, what squeezes harder, a mixed martial arts fighter or a snake? To find out, we enlisted the greatest champion in the history of mixed martial arts, Fedor, the Last Emperor Emelianenko. He's a 230-pound heavyweight, and he's won nearly half his fights by choking his opponents out.
All people need to breathe. The trick is to intelligently cut the oxygen, to put them in a position where he can't do anything, and to wait until he literally goes to sleep.
Fedor, you're known as the greatest chokeout master in MMA history. So what we want to do is to measure the amount of force that you could apply if you didn't have to worry about injuring an actual opponent. How do we have this dummy censored up?
Well, basically, we have a force sensor inside the neck here, so that we'll be able to tell exactly how you put your chokehold around your opponent, where you apply that force, and how much force you apply.
To give us more insight about the chokeout, we brought in legendary MMA referee Big John McCarthy.
What the person is doing is they're actually taking their arm, bringing it all the way across. They're going to be taking their hand, placing their hand to their bicep. The other hand is going to come up behind the person's head, forcing that neck to move forward into the arm, which is going to put pressure on the carotid arteries, which is going to cause the person to pass out.
But what chokes harder, a man or nature's most dangerously powerful snake? Fedor's ready to help us find out.
Cindy, you ready?
Ready.
Fedor, you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
After 10 seconds, the data's in, and the results are staggering.
Wow.
So when we're looking at Fedor's results from the chokehold on the dummy, in all total, he was at about 500 pounds of force. He kind of ramped up to that, and then he held it steady for the whole 10 seconds, which was really pretty amazing.
500 pounds of force. That's like being squeezed by an Alaskan brown bear for 10 seconds. In an MMA match, the ref stops the bout the instant a fighter taps out or goes unconscious. But were Fedor to continue choking with that 500 pounds of force on a real person, it could be deadly. Here's an inside look at Fedor's ultimate chokeout. As the arms cinch up, the choke closes the carotid artery, blocking blood flow to the brain. It takes only 150 pounds of pressure to crush the trachea. So Fedor's 500 pounds would be more than enough to devastate the windpipe.